first I want to give you some insight to our university. We are a private Christian university. We are located in Riverside, California. Riverside is about 60 miles from LA, so we're kind of smack dab in the valley of Southern California. Our current enrollment is 7,144 students, and we currently have 358 full-time faculty members. Our faculty to student ratio is 17.6 to 1. Our median age for our undergraduate students is 23, and our median age for our graduate students is 31. 64.1% of our students live on campus, while 39.9% of our students live off campus. So we have a big population of students who actually live on campus. Our Carnegie classification is Master's Large Programs, and we are affiliated with the Southern Baptist Convention. We have 11 schools and colleges on our campus, and our most popular majors are nursing, pre-nursing, business administration, psychology, kinesiology, and liberal studies. And we also offer 72 bachelor degree programs and 25 master's degree programs. So we have about 100 different programs that are on our campus. So what should you expect from this presentation? First, I'll go over the evaluation guidelines, what we expect faculty and students to do during the evaluation period. I'll go over briefly about our old system, and then about our new system that we adapted in fall of 2012. And then I will try to address how you can make this work at your university. There are so many different factors that involve your university, so I will try to give you as many options as I can of what we've done at our university that's made us work. All right, so evaluation guidelines. So our office is called the Office of Institutional Research Planning and Assessment, or as we call it, ORPA. There are 4 of us. There are 2 directors, one of assessment, one of institutional research, and then there's the associate provost in our office, and then myself, the academic evaluations coordinator. Our course evaluation questionnaire was actually created by our faculty senate, and then it was approved by our executive council. So before we could even go through the evaluation questionnaire, those 2 parties had to approve the evaluation questionnaire. So how is a course evaluated? A course is evaluated if there are 5 or more students enrolled. So if there's less students enrolled, we typically don't do an evaluation because we really want to protect the students' anonymity. Our evaluation schedule is actually 2 weeks before finals. This is a time where we feel students are not exactly too busy with their schoolwork quite yet. They're in that transition period of finishing up their papers and doing all those different types of things. So they're actually 2 weeks before finals. We have 3 instruments right now. We have the regular course evaluation form that goes out to all students. We have the science lab evaluation form that is actually created by our natural math science department. And it's a questionnaire, I believe it's 5 questions, very small, and it's not approved by faculty senate or executive council, so it's not looked at in the same way. It's mostly looked by the department chair for hiring purposes for their lab techs. But we also have a private instruction, which again is not created by faculty senate, it's created by our music area. So it's not looked at the same, but we still evaluate students in the exact same way. So our evaluation are administered in fall, spring, and summer, so all year round. And course evaluation reports are distributed 3 days after grades are due. So we try to avoid the concern of students of, my teacher's going to grade me poorly because they see that I wrote something poorly, or they're going to grade me better because I wrote my name, with my student ID number. I love you, you're an awesome teacher. So we really try to avoid having any issues. All right, so our old system, what was our old system like? Our old system was a hybrid paper and online system. We had a very low response rate. You'll notice that I didn't put an exact percentage. Before, we didn't really have a good handle on who was completing the evaluations and who was not completing the evaluations. We just know that a lot of people we were missing a lot of people. We couldn't really figure out how because of the paper and online system. So students, their biggest complaint and frustration was that the email was sent out too often without instructions. So nothing was explicitly stated in what we were looking for from the students, and there wasn't like a SSO link or a direct link to click to evaluate the class. Students never knew what classes they actually had to evaluate. They just knew that they kept getting emails and they didn't know what they were supposed to do with them. Faculty's biggest frustration was they weren't able to see who completed the evaluation. So when they would go to try to give extra credit or do like a little card to say, hey, this is what the you can use this on your final or those types of things that faculty do, they couldn't see who had actually completed the evaluation or not, and they were really frustrated with that. They were also frustrated with our reports. They felt they weren't simple and concise, and there was a lot of archaic formulas that we used, and so they were very frustrated with our reporting system. So our new system, what did we do with our new system? Our new system was adapted in fall of 2012. And first question, did we have success in our first semester or our first year? I would say yes, we did. We had 82% response rate in our first semester that we did fully online course evaluations. So we didn't really have a lag time of having a very low response rate, getting students on board, and then having a higher response rate. We had a higher response rate from the beginning. So our system that we use is SmartEvals. It's a great system. We love it, but I'm sure there are ways that you guys can use it with Qualtrics and all those different companies that are out there. The new system, it eliminates guesswork. Faculty love to use it, and we also offered a small incentive. So eliminate guesswork, what do I mean by that? This is an example of an email that is sent to the student. You'll see up here, it has the student's name, and then it says what we're wanting from them. They're saying these are helpful, they're critical in helping us, and it'll take about 10 minutes of your time. So we're putting it out there exactly what we want. There's no question of what we're wanting. We are saying this is what we want you to do, and this is how you do it. So right here it says no, click here to evaluate. So it shows the student that they haven't completed the evaluation, and that all they need to do is click and then complete the evaluation. A lot of our students have smartphones, so they're actually able to pull up Outlook on their phone, and then straight from that email, click to evaluate, and then complete the course evaluation actually on their phone. So a lot of our students do that option, and there's so many different options of ways that they can do it. But they use Outlook, and then inside CDU is our LMS system, our learning management system. It's a homegrown system, and there's a single sign-on link for each person's portal. So that's another way that they can log in if they somehow misplaced the email or deleted it. There's also Blackboard. We use Blackboard. Our instructors will put a homework assignment in Blackboard saying, students, it's course evaluation time. Please complete your course evaluations through Blackboard and get either extra credit or regular credit of an assignment. So another thing that we did to eliminate guesswork for students is we tried to make the subject in the email as explicitly stated as possible, so the student knew exactly what we were asking them. So in this first one, you'll see up here, it says course evaluations end Wednesday, the date and the exact time. So it's telling students, hey, this email is about course evaluations, and they end Wednesday. So please open it and read further. So you'll see that in this chart, we had a 48.57 response rate from that exact email, and 1,536 emails were sent out. So about half of our emails that were sent out were responded to in some way, and that was a couple of days before the evaluation period ended. Another email that I've seen good returns on is the alert that was not completed. This email gets sent out a couple of days into the evaluation period, just alerting students, hey, you have some things that you need to complete. Please don't forget about this email. Next, so faculty usability. So a frustration before with the faculty was not being able to see who had completed the evaluation system, or in the evaluation system. So faculty are able to pull up the course name. This is where the course name is, and then this is a list of students who have completed the evaluation. So there's no guesswork. They know exactly who to give credit to, who to allow to do all those different things. And then the other complaint from faculty was that the reporting system was poor. So this is now the reporting system that we use. So it has each question that we ask, how many number of people who responded, and then the comments down here at the bottom. I had to splice it in order to be able to be seen on the screen. But usually it's in a PDF, either 1 or 2 pages, however long like they have like a lot of comments. So small incentives. What do we do in order to acquire the small incentives? What did our marketing look like? And how did we give the lemonade to the students in the first semester? That's what we did for the first semester. So we contacted a lot of the businesses in the Riverside area and said, hey, we have an event coming up. We would love some freebies. And we asked them, please, if you would like to, you would donate the freebies to us, and we would give them to students, and it would be a great way to market your business. So Hubert's Lemonade, its larger company is Hanson's, the soda company. They were just started up and coming, and they said, of course, we'd love to come on your campus and give out lemonade for completing evaluations for students. So I met with the marketing management team, and they agreed to come on our campus. So it's quite simple, you just had to ask. So what did we do for our marketing? We actually made this sign. It says, squeeze out some time, like lemonade with a little lemon winking face. So we wanted to make sure that our flyer was kind of went along with the idea of lemonade and with Hubert's marketing as well, so students would be able to connect those two things and have an action from it. So we said, squeeze out some time, complete all online course evaluations, and come by the course evaluation kiosk from that specific time, which is the most popular time that students are around campus, and then they get a free bottle of lemonade. So this was the course evaluation kiosk. What happened was students would come up right here and give us their ID number, and then we would be able to see if they had completed the evaluation or not. And then you would give them a little lemonade, smiley winking face, and tell them to go to the course evaluation kiosk, which was right here, and they got a free bottle of lemonade. Very simple. There were, however, some students who hadn't completed the evaluation yet. So this is an example of one of the students. He hadn't completed any of his evaluations yet. So he sat on the computers that we had provided, and he completed all of his evaluations. So we found that most students had already completed their evaluations, but there were a couple who had either all of their evaluations left or maybe one or two evaluations left. So this is a good opportunity for them to complete all of their evaluations, so they knew that they were done for this semester. So how can you make this work at the university? I found that if you have the support of your institution, effective communication, and a good marketing to your student, you will have successful response rates. So support of the institution, what do I mean by that? Well, our campus, most of our campus, if not all, is wireless accessible. And a lot of our instructors at the time didn't realize that students could still use their computer, their tablet, or their phone to actually complete the course evaluation. So that was something that I had to remind them in the first semester. Hey, if you really liked the paper because you liked being able to ask students to come and complete the evaluation in class, you can do the exact same thing. Either book a computer lab if your classroom doesn't have wireless, or ask them to pull out their smartphone, tablet, or computer and have them go to the SmartEvals site and they complete evaluation. So once they realized that, a lot of teachers were very excited about that and were able to get behind the course evaluations a little bit more. Also, I learned in my first semester that a lot of faculty are confused about when evaluations begin. Even though it's consistent every semester, we do it 2 weeks before finals begin, a lot of them are either forget or they're confused or they just would like to ask. So we started emailing them a week before the evaluation period begins. And this really allows for them to remind their students, number one, and number two, to encourage them in class again and with using technology. Also, I had a professor approach me and said, you know what, this is just not going to work. I'm telling you right now, it's going to fail. It's not going to work. We're not going to have good response rates. And I, dug a little bit deeper, asked her, okay, why do you think it's going to work? And she explained that with paper, she got 100% response rate every single time. And that with online, she would get maybe 40% because she taught larger classrooms, or larger classes with around 150 students. So I listened to that and I said, okay, well, can I test something out on you? Can I give you a flyer that gives explicit instructions of how to complete the course evaluations from a student perspective. And she said, okay, I'll give you 1 semester to do this. Do it on my biggest class and let's see what we can do. So she had 145 students. I gave her a half page that said complete evaluations on your smartphone, your tablet, or your phone, or your computer. And she gave it all out to students, and she was so surprised. She ended up receiving a 98% response rate for that class. So she was very surprised, and she said that she swears to do it. That's what she'll do it from now on, is to give those papers out during class to remind students to do it in class right there if wireless is available on our campus. So that's a way that you can, if you have wireless on your campus, I would really encourage you to either try to get a flyer or to encourage your faculty members to complete the evaluations through that way. We also have effective communication. These are some of our students. They call themselves the CBU Crazies. You'll notice that they are wearing CBU Crazies, and then that's our mascot, the Lancer. Our students love our school. They love wearing things from our school, and they love telling people about our school. So once I learned that piece of information, I strove to always communicate as best as I could with the student body and population. So if you can at all learn your student a little bit better, that is really what I would suggest to do. When I first probably month of being there, I did a small sociological experiment on our campus. I got out of my office, I walked around and looked at our student, looked who our student was, and what are they wearing? Are they on their phone and walking? Are they talking with people? And I noticed that most, if not all, of our students were on their phone or on their tablet. They were looking and walking and not running into anybody, which is a feat in itself, right? So they were looking at their phone, and they were so consumed with their phones. So I asked one of the students, hey, I'm just curious, what are you looking at? And one of the students was telling me, oh, the CBU Crazies posted this new Instagram post, and we really wanted to see it. So I look at it, and it dawned on me that our student body and population is so image-driven that if they see something, they want to do it right then and there. So that's what I found in our small sociological experiment. I also looked and saw, okay, well, how many people actually are users of Instagram? What's the age breakdown? And I found that there's 200 million users of Instagram, and 37% of them are between the ages of 18 and 27. So a lot of people who are in our age bracket are actually looking, or who are in our school's age bracket are actually looking at the course evaluation, or looking at Instagram. And if I can figure out how to put course evaluations on Instagram in some way, then I should have success, because that's what they're looking at. They're wanting to do an action from those images. So that was a way that I did the small sociological experiment, and I really encourage you guys to do that on your campus. Also, through the course evaluation system, faculty are actually able to email students and say, hey, I would really like for you to complete these evaluations. This is how you complete the evaluation. Here's a single sign-on link. So 21% of our faculty actually email through the system, and we found that of those 21% who complete the evaluation, or who email the student, they have a 98% response for the evaluation. So very similar to what the other instructor had when she was saying that, very concerned about paper evaluation. Also, marketing-wise, we have a saying in our office to make it pretty. We want the things that go out of our office to look nice and to really make sense and look and have a polished look on them. So when making all of the flyers, that was the #1 goal. We also decided that students love slogans. From our first semester with the Hubert's Lemonade, or the lemonade that we used, we found that they kind of were joking around about it, but they had a general positive perception of it. We also used those signs in that marketing, and we put up signs in front of our computer labs. So if students saw the sign, they were able to actually complete the evaluation on their computers. On the computers in the computer lab, we were able to put them in the library. So students were able to complete the evaluations in the library when they were studying and doing all those different things. We also have a couple different eating areas on our campus. So we put little table tents to remind students, because that's where they study a lot. And then another area was we have a commuter lab. So if there's people who commute to CEU and don't really want to go to a cafeteria or a coffee shop, there's an actual place where they can go and hang out. And so we put signs all in that area. And lastly, our academic resource center, a lot of our athletes have to actually be in there for a certain amount of time, or if they're needing tutoring, so we put signs up there. So what did our signs look like? This is the first one I showed you earlier. So we said, squeeze out some time, that was our slogan, and we used very bright yellow. It was very positive, received by our students. The next one that we did in spring of 2013, we had Chick-fil-A come on our campus and give away tickets for free sandwiches, free drinks, free fries, all these different things. They would spin a wheel. So in 2013, we said, do course eval, and then at the bottom right here, we said, you have a voice, so use it. And a lot of students thought that the parody of the cows with holding something in front of them, that was funny. And then in fall of 2013, we asked a coffee shop, a local coffee shop, to donate some coffee to us, or to come on campus and serve some coffee to our students. And so our slogan was fresh, free, tasty, lift coffee. And just kind of fun. It was an aviation thing. And then this last semester, we actually chose to not do incentives. So the previous 3 semesters, we did incentives, and the last semester we decided to not do an incentive because we wanted to see, okay, are students completing the evaluation because they know that they're going to get something, or are they completing the evaluation because they know that they should? Why are they completing the evaluations in the first place? So these, we bought different signage to go on campus. This first one over here was about 7 feet tall. It was a retractable sign that was in popular areas of our campus. Second one right here is a sandwich board that we put in front of our coffee area. And you'll notice in bright yellow, like star, flashy writing, it says today because it was the last day to complete the evaluation. And then our last flyer that we put up was this little silly cat. And it says, students, did you remember to fill out your course evaluations? And a couple students, when I was putting these signs up, they said, who made these? These are so silly. What is this for? But in asking them and talking with them more, I said, okay, well, yeah, you think it's silly, but did you read the sign? And they would say, yeah, we read the sign. I said, okay, well, that was our goal. Our goal was to get you to read the sign. Even if you think it's silly, we want you to read the signs. We want you to do an action and do something from the sign that you're reading. And then on the bottom, you'll see here, we said, don't wait your course evaluations, the time that it's available until, and then a QR code, because students were able to scan the QR code and then go straight to completing the evaluation. So what was our response rates during that whole entire season of influx of doing the different small incentives and then not doing an incentive? Well, so when we did Hubert's Lemonade, we had an 82% response rate. We were very excited. And then when we did Chick-fil-A, we had an 86% response rate. So we were very excited. We equated some of that to students knowing that they had to do it, learning the system. It was their second semester having to fill out the online course evaluation, learning that, okay, this is what we do, this is when we do it. And also to students, I guess, love Chick-fil-A. And then our third semester, we did the Lift Coffee, and it had an 85.7 response rate. So still very, very good response rate. And then this last semester, when we didn't do an incentive at all, we had an 84% response rate. So what did we learn from giving small incentives? We learned that students love free stuff. Around each time, we gave about 1,200 different tickets or bottles of lemonade during each of the different giveaways. And now you're probably thinking, okay, well, you said you had 1,700 students and you gave out 1,200 things. That doesn't really work math-wise. Well, we didn't give it out to every single student. Some of our students are online. Some of our students chose not to have the free incentive. There wasn't a way for us to say, to survey those 6,000 students who didn't receive anything for free. But we know that in general, we had a very good